I'm Tara Moss, and the book that changed my life might not seem like an immediately obvious one. There are, in fact, many books that have changed my life, but the first one was Stephen King's Christine. And I know this because I wrote a little homage called Black and White Doom, which I brought here today. My dad found this in the attic when my first novel, Fetish, was published in 1999, and sent it to me in the post. And I've actually brought it out at the odd stuffy literary conference just to kind of, for a little bit of fun, I'll be honest. I'll start to read from some of my early works, as I call it. And as you can hear, when I do a bit of reading here, it's maybe not what people are expecting. In the midst of darkness, beware, because black and white doom lurks silently. Engines off, driver missing. This black and white car is hatred of its owner and the whole of mankind. That's actually how I wrote it. Tara Moss, the unfortunate owner, but do, that's crossed out, finds out there is more to the car than meets the eye, but doesn't have time to tell, for the Torquay School students will find out the hard way. Kind of concerning because I actually wrote this in 1984, which was when I was 10 years old. What teachers might not have realized if they'd found this little tome was that I actually wrote it with my classmates in it, yes, being killed off by this demonic car, because my classmates were asking to be written in it. So instead of being dragged off and given Prozac and a straitjacket, I was actually becoming a budding novelist. Now with 11 books under my belt, mostly crime thrillers as well as some nonfiction and some paranormal fiction, I still feel that it was Stephen King and that book Christine that made me want to write. So I have to say thank you, Mr. King. You changed my life, and Christine is in fact the book that changed my life. Books matter and stories matter. They've mattered to me since I was a little kid. They certainly matter to me now that I'm a novelist and also a nonfiction writer, as well as a reader. And the only way we can keep having original stories, and particularly local stories, is to protect copyright and to look up to our authors and make sure they still have a voice and they can continue to be writers. So I always like to support the authors that I read, and I also like to respect copyright. If I'm doing academic work, I make sure I attribute things properly, I make sure I ask for permission, and if I'm really into a particular author, I want to buy those books myself. That's the only way that we can continue to have those books come out, is actually to support them. So I'd say copyright matters enormously for a whole bunch of reasons, but to me it matters both as a writer, but also as a reader.